What? Everyone done already? What topic are you all at now in your school? Can I just have an update? Sorry, Ethel? Sorry? Forces. Yeah, forces. That's right. Oh, I haven't really started. Still okay, but Chinese New Year coming already. Very fast. Tomorrow, okay. Who are you? Same, same. Okay. Huh? Nutrition. Nutrition. Okay. Alright. So I haven't started. Kenny? Energy. All right. How about the bell? Haven't started anything. Okay, so this is a new topic. Okay, this one, the man and his environment. So I'm showing you this picture first. Very important. Look at that. What's happening? There's a big nose here, and then this nose is sucking in all the fumes, right? Do we get all this? Have you ever smelled like any pollution before? Do you think you have smell any pollution before? Are you okay? Come. Getting over there. Right. Have you ever smelled pollution? Where have you experienced pollution? Anyone? Anywhere? Like over here? Do you think there's pollution over here? Outside, just outside. Yeah, vehicles, right? There's pollution everywhere, no, right? Because we are no longer in the what do you call that? Okay, unless you are living in the forest, okay, but we aren't living in the forest. Actually, that's for you, the worksheet. Okay, but we aren't living in the forest, and because we are not living in the forest, there's actually pollution everywhere. But of course, the kind of pollution that we are experiencing right now is not like this. This is like literally staying in a polluted area. But do you think there are people who are staying in this kind of situations? Where do you think there are people staying in this kind of polluted areas? Any idea? America. Okay, which part? Depending on which part. Okay. Africa. You say Africa? Wait, who said Africa? I cannot see your mouth. Okay. Africa, maybe don't have. Right, but I'll tell you where. Beijing. Right, Beijing, China. Oh, Beijing. China pollution is one of the most, is the worst, what do you call that? The worst in the world. This is like a daily life. This one. Okay? What do I mean by daily life? That means every day you step out of your house, it's like this. Okay? You see the difference? See the difference, huh? It's like that. That means if you don't see this, it's abnormal. Do you understand? If you see something like that, that means something's wrong, huh? Right? But their daily life is like that. Right? So I have actually students who come from Shanghai and Beijing. So and then I was asking them, hey, don't you feel very weird, that your life is like this? Okay, guess what's their response? Like every day, come on, I don't know. Right? What's their response? What do you think is their response? Any guess? Yeah, exactly. They say it's normal. They're used to it. Right? But then if you put a Singaporean over there, the Singaporean will be like, oh, something is wrong. Right? But just by looking at the pictures, you know something is wrong, right? It cannot be like this every day. Okay, so they have this massive pollution. Now, why do they have so much pollution? Because they have a lot of factories, right? They also have a lot of vehicles. Okay, that's why people are going for electric vehicles right now. Do you know what's an electric vehicle? Do we have electric vehicles in Singapore? Yes, but we have a lot of electric vehicles. We don't have a lot, okay? So if we continue to not have electric vehicles and then we become like China, Beijing, right? And where they start to use a lot of vehicles, then our air will look like that. So when the air looks like that, it's terrible, it's very bad, right? The air quality is just, you see, look at that, right? It's just terrible. And the thing about it is, they actually don't know that, or they know that the air is bad, but then they are like, what can we do? There's nothing they can do, because can you go and ask the people to stop driving? Can you say like, hey, stop driving? It's like in Singapore, can you imagine if we have all this pollution going on? Can the government come and tell your family, can you please stop driving? Can or not? Cannot lah, a bit difficult. Because why? Then as a citizen, I'll be asking them, then why do I pay so much for a car? When I cannot drive. I already bought the car and then you don't allow me to drive. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So in China, one of the solutions that they had was they prevent cars with certain number from driving. What do I mean by that? That means, let's say today is a Monday. Then they'll say that, oh, if your car plate has the number 1, your car cannot come out. Right? That's their solution. Okay, let's say tomorrow is Tuesday, right? And then they'll say, oh, if your car plate has the number 2, then you cannot come out. Right? So to be fair, they say this is the most fair way. Right? In fact, what they did is they used odd and even numbers. Okay, sorry, what is the what? Yeah, what if the car is 1, 2, 3, 4? So you can only use on certain days, right? Or you can only use on Friday or Saturday and Sunday, right? So actually, the actual thing they did was they say that, okay, your car Monday, right? Odd number cars can be used, right? Then Tuesday, even number cars can be used. What's the odd and even? That means the last digit. If it's an odd number, then the car can come out. If it's an even number, then the car can come out. Something like that. Okay. So what do you think the rich people do? Yes, you're correct. They buy 2 cars, one with odd number, one with even number. Then still pollution. You see, right? So, but of course, most people will be like, oh, okay, then I will not use the car on the odd day or even day. Okay, but what is the thing that I'm trying to introduce right here is that we're actually talking about man and the environment. This is our topic for today. Okay, environmental impacts. So basically everything that we do has an impact on our environment. Okay, so these of course are extreme examples. Now how about Singapore? Do you think we suffer from any problems like pollution problems? Now here we are talking about environment, impact on environment. Do you think Singapore has any bad impacts on environment? I mean, we look like a very clean and green. I mean, we are a very clean and green country, right? Everywhere you see is clean. You look out the window, you see green. What do you mean by green? I mean, we see red here, but I'm talking about the plants. Okay, plants and trees. So clean and green environment. How can we possibly suffer from anything? Do you think we're suffering from any problem? Megan? Do you think we have problems? Like pollution problem? No? You don't think so? Okay. Ethel? Water pollution over here? Water. Actually, what are problems, so-called environment problems you have? You can make a guess. It doesn't matter. Some funny answers, okay. Anything? No? Okay, Jabel?
Plastic straw.
Okay, very good. How about Kenny?
Water.
That's all right? Water. Okay. So you see, let me explain. Why is our place so clean? Who is the one who cleans all this stuff? The garbage man, right? So there's only reason why our place is so clean. It's because the garbage and the rubbish are gone, correct? But where do they go to? The where? Island, yeah. So Singapore actually have a problem, right? Our problem is it's too clean outside. Why is it so clean? Because all the garbage has been consolidated and is going somewhere, right? And Singapore's problem is, what do we do with all this rubbish? Right? So every day, do you generate rubbish? Do you throw stuff in the rubbish bin? Yeah, have you ever wondered where does it go? Right? I mean, for all of us, right, it goes to the incinerator. So where is our incinerator? Do you know what's an incinerator? Huh? Yeah, we destroy by burning. Right? We burn every single one of this. Okay? Waste management. Where is our incinerator? I also don't know where is our incinerator. Where is Singapore's incinerator? Okay, so this is the island they're talking about, Pulau Semakau landfill. So we burn our rubbish and then we ship our rubbish into this place, right? And then we fill the land with our rubbish. After we fill, of course, not the entire land is rubbish, right? The bottom part, all rubbish, all the ashes. And then after the top part is the soil, and then we plant some plants on top. And then, hey, it looks very nice. Okay, but we cannot tell. The bottom is all rubbish. Okay, so that's our solution. But do you think it will ever end? At the rate that we are, are you generating rubbish every day? I don't know about you, but I am generating rubbish every day, right? I got rubbish bin here. After you eat something, you throw. You use one tissue, you throw. After I drink this, I will throw. So all this stuff has to go somewhere, right? It goes all the way here. Now, of course, you look at this and it looks so clean and green, right? So clean and green. But do you think it's really, really healthy for the whatever animals that is living over here? Can you imagine if you live in your house and then I choose the land beside your house as a rubbish dump, and then I tell you that, don't worry, it's fine. I'll dig a hole and throw all the rubbish inside. And then finally I will patch with grass on top so it'll look all nice. Will you be happy with that? No. Yeah. At the why you won't be happy with that? Yeah, because all the way down is all rubbish, Okay, so it's the same. This land that we have, right, is all filled with ashes and rubbish. Now, the problem with this is, how can you tell for sure that the water is not polluted by the rubbish that you throw? I know you cannot see it, right? We throw everything into the island so we cannot see it. Okay, but do you think that place is like totally pollution free? I don't know. Of course, they have scientists and then they say that, don't worry, everything is fine. Okay, but well, it is a thing that we cannot see. So Singapore, we choose to take this rubbish and put it somewhere else so we cannot see. So because wherever we cannot see is not a problem, correct? No? Do you agree? As long as you cannot see, means it's not a problem, right? So far, it's like that, right? That's how we have been dealing with this. Okay, now how about other countries? How do you think other countries deal with the problem of rubbish? What if the country doesn't have the ability to, find an island and then throw everything inside? What else can they do? You see, this is how we dump rubbish, right? Mothership of this thing. Right, so we burn all the rubbish, every rubbish, whatever things you throw inside, you'll be burnt, turn into ashes, then the ashes will be dumped into the sea. And then we dump enough, it becomes one island. That's how we do it. Okay, so what about other countries that don't have the ability to do that? What do we do? Oh, no, sorry? Sorry, who's saying? Recycle. Did you say recycle? Litter everywhere. Yeah, some countries just litter everywhere. What else? How about Japan? What do you think Japan does? Taiwan, yeah. Taiwan recycling. All right, so in other countries, they have this recycling thing. Okay, now what they do is what's the meaning of recycling? That means, let's say this plastic, I'm not supposed to throw into this dustbin. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have like several categories of rubbish. If it's plastic, you must throw inside plastic. If it's paper, you must throw inside paper. Why? Because all these things will be recycled again, right? They will use the plastic and remake plastic. Now, the good thing about all this recycling is that you do not have to burn them, right? And then when you don't have to burn them, you don't have to throw them inside some water and hope that you don't pollute the water, right? So other countries, they do that. So not only Taiwan, right, but Japan is also they do a lot of recycling, right? It has become a culture for them. So hopefully we also do something like that eventually. Because if we don't do that, you see all this recycling, because if we don't do that, after filling the Pulau Semakau, this Pulau Semakau, we have to find another island to fill, right? And it will never end. That means, because how much rubbish do we generate every day? Let's check. How much rubbish Singapore generate? All waste statistics. And okay, 7.23 million tons. How big is 7.23 million tons? 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms. So it's 7 million 1,000 kilograms every year. Okay, 7 million 1,000 kilograms, of which 4.25 were recycled. So that's still not too bad. Okay, but you still have a lot of rubbish that needs to be burned. And then, you know, when you burn the plastic, right, what happens? The fumes also go into the air, right? So you get air pollution, you get water pollution, and then you throw them inside the land to fill the land. Right? So all this rubbish, right, they have to be burnt. All the rubbish must be burned. When you burn, you generate air pollution. Then when you put them into the water, you generate water pollution. Okay, so even though we cannot see it, Singapore, we don't see all these things because it's so clean, but it's happening somewhere. Now, when it happens somewhere, do you think it will affect you eventually? How do you think that thing happening somewhere will also come back eventually? Now, Ashton, how do you think it will happen? Let's say you put inside the island, right? The Pulau Semakau. Okay, we burn all these things, right? Alright, all become ashes, and then we throw inside the island. Okay, then what happened? How will it affect you in the future? How might that thing affect you in the future? Just one example. Possibility. Is it possible that you know, some fishes might be affected by this rubbish? Like they might eat some of the burnt plastic, right? So when they eat the burnt plastic, right, maybe a bigger fish eat that smaller fish, right? And then you take that fish, you know, someone catches that fish, go and make the one Subway sandwich, something like that. And then, because I like to eat Subway, I will go and buy Subway, and I will eventually eat that meat. Okay, even though that meat looks okay, but it has consumed rubbish from somewhere. Okay, why? All because I don't want to throw this into the recycling bin. I throw inside my dustbin and burn the thing. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is very simple. Sometimes you cannot see the problem, but somehow it might come back to you because we are going to study man and his environment. Right? You cannot delink yourself from the environment because you are in the environment. We are all in the environment. No matter how you go and put the thing here and there, somehow it will still come back to us. Okay, somehow or another. All right, so that's the introduction to this chapter. This chapter is called Man and His Environment. Man doesn't mean women don't have, okay? This man basically means everybody, all right? So everything that we do affects us, impact on the environment. So obviously there are two types, right? Whether positive or negative. The example that we have here is a negative. Now there are two ways why this is negative. Number one, first, how do you think we need a lot of resources to make all these things? Like where does paper come from? Trees, right? So to make all these, I mean, it looks like there's some paper, cardboards and all this stuff, right? So to make that cardboard, first you must chop the tree. So after you make the cardboard, you got to throw it away, you know, and then you need to burn it, then you pollute the environment. So number one, you chop the tree, which is bad for the environment. Then number two, you burn the thing, which is also bad for the environment. You see that? So that is called a negative impact. All right, so negative impact. But is it true that we are always bad for the environment? No. Okay, because we also have some positive impact. All right, so what are some positive impact that human beings have? So in the past, we always depend on natural resources, right? But using science and technology, we have made certain things that allow human beings to not have to use natural resources. Example is alloy, plastic, and ceramics. So alloys, plastic, and ceramics, these three things are man-made materials. So what's the meaning of man-made materials? That means they do not exist on Earth. There's no such thing as a plastic tree, right? Is there a tree that grows plastic? No. Then where does plastic come from? Anyone knows? I mean, we use plastic everywhere, no? Plastic is everywhere, right? But where do the plastic come from? Anyone? Joel, you know? Oh, Kenny, do you know? Where do plastics come from? Megan? Where do plastics come from? A type of glass, no? Where do plastics come from?
Is it a tree?
Tree? No, it's not a tree.
Sand.
No. Glass comes from sand, right? But how about plastic? Plastic comes from where? I mean, they have to come from somewhere, right? They have to be made from somewhere, right? Sorry? Waste? No. Tristan? Any idea? Plastic comes from oil. Oil. Right? Crude oil. What's crude oil? This oil. Okay, the oil that people dig from pump from underground. Once they got the crude oil, they're gonna boil the oil, and then a bit of the plastic will come out. So they use that little bit of thing to go and make plastic. That is why when you burn plastic, eventually what color does it become? If you burn plastic, black color. Okay, this thing, black color, right? So whatever plastic that you have comes from oil. Okay, so oil, is it a natural resource? Yes, right? You will use up oil, no? That means you keep using plastic, right? Eventually you're using the oil somehow. Okay, and of course it's not just oil. You cannot use this to like burn stuff, right? Why? Because it's man-made. That means there's a lot of chemicals they put inside the oil to make that plastic. Okay, right? So yeah, so these are just some examples of man-made materials. Next, so metals are used to make alloys. Okay, what's the meaning of alloy? You know, alloy means a mixture of metal. Alloy. Okay, let me give you an example. Brass is an alloy. What is brass? This stuff. Okay, used to make musical instrument. Brass. Okay, instruments like that, brass instrument. What does it mean? That means this material doesn't exist on Earth. You have to take different types of metals, you mix them together, then you create this thing called an alloy, and the alloy will be used to make that thing. Okay, so plastics are from petroleum, they farm from the ground, right? Farming, breeding. So these are how human beings have been very useful for the environment because we create new stuff. We use science and technology to make new things, right? We don't have to keep using the whatever material, because if you don't use plastic, right, what do you have to use? You may have to use paper. If you don't use plastic for this file, you may have to use paper, cardboard, right, which will make you use even more trees, right? So that is how we are positive, right, to the environment. But what are some of the negative impacts? So yeah, I mean, we know that we have a lot of negative impacts. First one is called deforestation, right, and pollution. So what's the meaning of deforestation? If you have gone through the haze period, you know the haze period. All right, how come it was so hazy in Singapore during that period? Is it our fault? Did we do okay? It's because there are people in Indonesia, right, that goes to do deforestation. So what's the meaning of deforestation? Yeah, deforestation. We don't have okay. Do we have deforestation in Singapore? Have a bit, right, but not at such a huge extent. So basically, deforestation means that you chop down all the trees in the forest. Why? Because you want the land. You want to use the land for something else, right? You chop all the trees. So when you chop all the trees, there are two ways you can do it. Number one, you can be very hardworking and really chop the tree, right? But number two, the faster way, of course, is to what? Let's go and burn, right? Let the forest catch fire. That is what happened, right? This is exactly what happened in, in Indonesia, and that's how you get air pollution, the haze into Singapore. Okay, they basically burn everything. And why do you think they want to do this? Number one is fast. Okay, number two, after the trees are burned, they are left behind to become what? Fertilizers. Okay, so the soil become very fertile. So why shouldn't they do that? Okay, I mean from their point of view, right? So that is the negative impact. So other harmful effects of deforestation are you have a loss of living things. So when you burn something like that, of course, living things die, right? Ever seen the video of the burnt koala? Do you remember last year in Australia? Koala, something like burnt. Okay, this is the Australian woman. Koala. Yeah, this is the one, right? Okay, so this is during in Australia. In Australia, usually koalas don't move, right? They are like hugging the tree. Okay, they don't like to walk around. But the forest was burned to such a bad extent that this koala was actually like begging for water. Okay, from the woman, right? So then the woman was like giving water, and it was such a touching scene, right? That they captured the whole thing. Okay, right? And of course, if you look closely enough, the koala was like burnt. Okay, so it affects. Have you not seen this in Instagram or anywhere? No. Yeah, so the koala was like burned, and then it's like very poor thing, going around asking for water because very thirsty. You can in the video you can see like the tongue sticking out there, very tired, thirsty koala. Not this one. It's just not that one. Right? A lot of these examples happen because of deforestation. Next. So there is a very harmful effect to living things. They lose their habitat. Okay, they lose their lives sometimes. Next is soil erosion. So what's the meaning of soil erosion? What is soil erosion? Okay, soil erosion basically means that the soil don't become this level, right? Most of it gets eroded away. That means that when the rain comes, the soil will be gone. It will flow away with the water. Now, if the land has got a lot of trees, soil erosion will not happen. But if the land has got no trees, just like this, okay, you see that there's not enough trees to hold the soil together. Every time it rains, the soil will be gone. Now, our neighbor Malaysia, right, suffers from some of the most serious soil erosion, especially at Genting. Okay, I mean now we cannot go there, but Genting Highlands. Do you know what is Genting Highlands? Genting Highlands. Have you been to Genting Highlands? Hey, anyone been to Genting Highlands before? Never been to? Good. Genting Highlands. Right, is this resort in Malaysia? So it's not Legoland. It's Genting Highland. Genting Highland is somewhere in Kuala Lumpur. It's further than Legoland. So further than Legoland, you go to Genting Highland. You got to climb the mountain. But of course, you don't climb the mountain, right? The bus will take you up. But as you're going up, there's a lot of, okay, you see, the Genting Highland is like somewhere here. So your bus will be traveling around the mountain. So they have this soil erosion happening here. Let me show you, which makes the climb very dangerous. Erosion. Right? You see? Okay, here's an example of a soil erosion happening on the road. So imagine your bus is traveling, If your bus is traveling here and then suddenly you get this soil erosion, that's everybody will go down. Whee! Yeah. You don't have to go there to take roller coaster. You get roller coaster here. Okay, which is very bad. Right. So all this happens why? Because don't have forests, don't have trees. You don't have enough trees or roots to hold the soil. So you get soil erosion. Okay, last but not least, you get global warming. Okay, what's the meaning of global warming? Okay, have you heard of global warming? This term? Yes, yes. Okay. What is global warming, Megan? That is what? All the ice melt. Okay. How about Jabel? What is global warming to you? What's global warming? Are we suffering from global warming? Is Singapore having global warming? Yes. Tristan? Is Singapore suffering from global warming? Yes. How do you know that we are suffering from global warming? Uh-huh. Sometimes very hot, sometimes very cold. Okay. So basically, global warming means the temperature is increasing, right? So Singapore's temperature is increasing. Global warming. Singapore temperature. Okay, this is Singapore's temperature. Let me see the thing. Average temperature. So what's happening? We are somewhere here, right? This is the year 2016. So when I was young, that means here, like really young, average temperature 27 degrees, like now. Okay, when it was December, I must wear sweater one. How come? Because it's really, really cold. Because average temperature 20 something. Do you know what's our average temperature now? I mean, not this month, but usually during the hot months, like March or June. Yeah, 30 something, Where is 30 something? It's not even here. Right? You see that this is like 29. So average temperature is always increasing. Right? Put my hair away. Right? It's going upwards. Right? It just keep going up. What is the temperature in India? Do you know? But what number? So now we are at about 35. You know what happens at 40? Okay, in India it's about 45 degrees Celsius. So Singapore we are around 35 average. Okay, last time we are like 27. So we keep increasing, right? Do you know what happens at 45 degrees Celsius? Have you ever gone to a temperature that is 45 degrees Celsius? Yes. Oh, where? Desert, is it? Dubai, okay, 35 degrees Celsius. But prolonged periods of 35 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius, right? Let me show you what happens. Yeah, it's super hot, no? And in fact, something happens to the road. You know what happens to the road? India road melt. Right? See that? Prolonged periods of like 45, this heat wave, the road will melt, no? Oh, but of course, at 45, but this is not like 1 day 45, it's like maybe the whole month or the whole 3 months, 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. You start to see the road melt. And then if you start to see the road melt, what does it mean? It means it's really, really hot. It's not just, yeah. And then furthermore, if you switch on aircon, right? I don't know, it might worsen the heat, you see? And then what happens here? Heat waves kills 800 over people. Of course, if you can melt the road, right? Definitely it's going to kill some people. Okay, because the temperature gets so hot. So, looking at the graph, that's the graph. Yeah, this one. Past climate change. Looking at the graph. So long ago we were here, when I was young. Now increase how much? About 2 degrees Celsius already, right? So now we are at 35. How long do you think it will take before our roads start to melt? I know. but 20 years, 30 years. So every 30 years increase 2 degrees Celsius. Every 30 years. Okay, so by the time you are 40 something, right? Plus 30 years, how old will you be? 42, correct? By the time you're 42 years old, the temperature might be around 39 degrees Celsius. And then it will be your turn to tell people, hey, do you know during January you gotta wear sweater or no? And then your kids or your students will say, don't bluff, I think the temperature so hot, why you got such thing as wear sweater? So now you should take a picture, right? Yeah, you know, people won't believe you. It's like I tell you, you won't believe, right? Like during December, I was like, oh, so cold, I gotta wear sweater before I go out. Because December was really cold that time. Why? Because it was 27 average. Okay? You can't imagine that, right? So next time, in 30 years' time, people also cannot imagine, you know, you tell them you gotta wear sweater. It's like in India, you tell people, do you know last time I need to wear sweater? Nobody will believe you. They only show you the melting road. Right? So nobody will believe you. Okay, so global warming. Now, what's global warming? That means globally. It's not just Singapore, it's not just India. Globally, the Earth's temperature is increasing. Now, why is the Earth's temperature increasing? Why? It has got to do with this thing called CO2. Why is CO2? Huh? Wait, who said oxygen? Oxygen? What is CO2? Anyway, carbon dioxide. Write down. This is carbon dioxide. Right, so basically the Earth's atmosphere, carbon dioxide is increasing. So the more carbon dioxide there is in the Earth, the air, right, that we have, the more heat it traps. Now, how come the carbon dioxide is increasing? Now, where does carbon dioxide come from? Human beings, right? So that, well, if there are more human beings, of course, then the carbon dioxide will increase. Okay, what else? Our aircon. Okay, the more aircon you use, the more of these gases, we call them the greenhouse gases, will be released to the environment. What else? Vehicle. The more cars you use, we talk about petrol vehicles, the more carbon dioxide will be released. Right? So every time that we are alive, you use the car, you use aircon, you open the fridge to take out a drink, you are contributing to what? Global warming. Right? So I have contributed to global warming for the past 30 years. For the next 30 years, are we still going to contribute to global warming? Yes. Are you going to stop using aircon? No. You see, can you live without aircon? No. Wait, who can live without aircon? Maybe you. Tristan, can you live without aircon? Oh, you can. Very good. Can you live without aircon? No. Joel, can you live without aircon? No. How about you? Can you live without aircon? No. Right? I don't think I can live without aircon. Right? Can you imagine in the MRT? Yeah, but can you imagine MRT? They say aircon breakdown. What happened? Yeah, everyone perspire. Everyone will jump out of the MRT. I give you another scenario. You go to next shopping mall. Then they say, oh, sorry, today is global warming day. We're gonna switch off all the aircon. Will you go next? Huh? Switch, yeah, lights, everything, basically everything, right? Electricity. Yes, it will haunted, but aircon is the one that uses the most because it also gives out the greenhouse gas, right? I don't know, right? So vehicles is one thing, right? Can you imagine you don't travel? Of course, we can imagine during circuit breaker, everyone stay at home, right? Okay, which was very boring. So after when we have the ability to travel, immediately everybody start traveling, right? But when you're at home, what happens? You switch on aircon also, you switch on TV, you use your electrical appliances and devices. So you are also contributing to the global warming. But there's a solution. What is the solution? Remember, this is what? CO2, right? CO is the one that causes, and the greenhouse gases is the one that causes all the temperature to go up, right? So if you can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide, that will help you, right? You can continue to use your aircon, you can continue to use your whatever thing. So how to reduce CO2? Huh? How to reduce CO2? Do you know this YouTuber called Mr. Beast?
Oh yeah.
What did he do last year? Plant what? How many trees? 10 million, is it 10 million or 1 million? I don't remember. So plant more trees. Because the more trees you plant, what do trees take in to make food? They take in sunlight, carbon dioxide. So they take in carbon dioxide. Why do the trees have what do you mean? They will give out a bit of carbon dioxide, but because the more trees you have, the more carbon dioxide they'll take in. Okay, and then they'll give out more oxygen. Basically, they are like the converter. They're like the machine, that takes in the carbon dioxide and then throw out all the oxygen. Right? They remove all the greenhouse gases. Okay, that is why Singapore is going clean and green. Must be green, not thin. Okay, not thin green. Must have trees, right? Like real trees, real plants, so that you can remove the carbon dioxide. Okay, so that's why growing trees might help, but the rate at which you are growing trees, right, must be faster than you generating carbon dioxide, right? Because if it's slower, then no point. Basically, the whole world will still have global warming. Okay, so that's global warming, right? The main culprit, one of the culprits is this carbon dioxide gas. So remember we said that there's deforestation. Yeah, so you kill the trees and then you continue to give out so much carbon dioxide. That's why you get global warming. So hopefully, we study this chapter. Why? Because hopefully in future, once you're aware, right? Hopefully this chart can come down, like go up and then, hopefully it starts to come down. Okay? If not, you just keep going up. Next. Okay, so pollution. So what type? There are different types of pollution. Let me just clear this. So there are many different types of pollution, right? We already talked about land pollution. We also talk about water pollution. We also talk about air pollution, right? So air pollution, we gotta explain this thing called acid rain. Okay, we know what is smog. Smog is a bit like haze. Global warming, already explained that. What is acid rain? Have you ever encountered acid rain in Singapore? Never, right? Basically, what's acid rain? Okay, first we need to understand what's acid. What is acid? That's what acid rain. Yeah, acid is a kind of chemical that corrodes stuff. Show you, corrode statue. I don't know if there's a video, but this is what happens. No, it's not rust. It's corrode. Corrode means like melt. A bit like melt away. So the rain falls, and because the rain is corrosive, right, it melts statue. Can you imagine a human being outside? Yeah, it will melt the hair and everything around, right? So basically, all buildings will corrode if there's acid rain. Your car, the paint, right, will like ice cream like that. The entire building will not melt, right? But the paint will start to melt slowly. So it's like the side. Yeah, at the side and basically everything. You see this guy, this thing? Almost gone already. The face is gone. Glass, maybe a bit, right? Basically, acid, right, corrodes everything that it comes into contact with, right? So this is like the worst thing to happen, if you have acid rain. See, the statue is gone. It's gone. Now, how come there's acid rain? What causes acid rain? Pollution, right? Air pollution. This stuff. These fumes, if you have a factory, right, and then all these fumes, it's pointing upwards, right? Does it mean that it's safe? It points upward? No, because when it points upward, where does it go? Environment, right? Mixed together with what? The cloud. Then the cloud, when it's heavy, there's rain, right? Rain drop together with what? All these fumes. So you think that, oh yeah, don't worry, we're just throwing the air into the atmosphere, right? You'll never come down. Wrong. So you're wrong. You'll come back down in the form of acid rain. So when it falls down in the form of acid rain, stuff like that happens. Huh? Why? Hershey is beside a big chemical factory. I have no idea. We can check. What? Factory. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, never heard about that. But I still like to eat Hershey chocolate. Right? I never eat already. The syrup, what? Really? Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I will have to investigate that. Yeah. Right. So these are just to let you know, right? What is the meaning of small acid rain, global warming? So because these are terms that you need to understand when you are studying this chapter. They'll ask you things like, how is acid rain formed? What is global warming? What causes global warming? And stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, so what causes acid rain? Smoke from factories, vehicles as well contains harmful chemicals. So these harmful chemicals dissolve in rainwater to form acid, and the acid falls down. Okay, what are the effects? Causes materials to corrode. Everything starts to spoil. Buildings, outdoor structure, the soil unsuitable for plant growth. Plants will, and because rain falls everywhere, right? So if the rain falls onto the soil, your plant gets sick, animals also get sick. Okay, organisms in the water will be killed and also contaminate water supply. Okay, so global warming, we already talked about that. So apart from having roads that melt, one of the things that Megan mentioned is the polar ice cap melt. Now, what's the meaning of polar ice cap melt? Where are the polar ice cap? Yeah, polar ice cap. This one, yeah, see polar bear is here, right? So what's so bad about polar ice cap melting? Yeah, so the polar bear died, but how does it concern me? Not my problem. Polar bear died, and still not my problem. Like the zoo, the inuka died. Did you cry? you know what's inuka? You see, you don't even know what's inuka. Wait, you know what's inuka? What's inuka? Yeah, it's a very old polar bear in Singapore Zoo. It died. Did it matter to you? Huh? I don't know. I think if I were the zookeeper, I wouldn't want Inuka to be in Singapore. Because look at his environment. What kind of environment does it stay in? What kind of environment is Singapore? Singapore is a place where you eat roti prata, curry, and chili, and I mean, it's basically I'm saying that it's very hot temperature. You put a polar bear in Singapore, what do you expect it to do? Like happy, yeah. Hey, I'm in Singapore. Time to bask in the sunshine. No, it's not happy or no. Yeah, of course, there's still a lot. Wait, do you all know Inuka died? Like did it? Is it like a news for you? You see, they even had a funeral there. Yeah, that's the funeral. Everyone just put their hand around there, right? So Inuka died, right? It's a polar bear. I honestly have no idea. Right? It died. How it died? I think it suffered from some kind of a disease or heart attack or what. Right? Inuka dies. So it didn't matter to you, correct? So why? Huh? Yeah, you don't even know. So what does it matter that the polar ice cap melt and then? Yeah, last year. No, but my question is this: we say global warming will cause polar ice cap to melt, right? So all these ice melt. Okay, then poor Inuka doesn't have a place to stay. How does that affect you? Because you didn't even know Inuka died. How does it affect? Does it affect you? Yes, 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 no. Who say no? You? Why? Why you say it doesn't affect you? Far away, right? Very, very far away, right? Not a problem, right? Okay, why do you say it affect you? Oh, very good, right? Rising sea level. That is correct. Yeah. So the problem with Singapore is that we are a tiny little what? Tiny little dot in the whole world. Okay. So you see, huge pieces. Okay, let's compare polar ice cap with the size of Singapore. How big are polar ice caps? Okay, look at that. Do you see that? Polar ice cap. This polar ice cap, huh? Yeah, you see that entire white color thing. Where in Singapore? Huh? We are yeah, I don't know where, right? But we are just like one dot, like one point, like one point. Okay, I don't even know where we are, but we are like one dot somewhere. This is polar ice cap. It's not just here; it's bottom as well, top and bottom. Now, if this thing melts, you're saying water level will what? Will rise. Which are some of the places that be flooded? What's the first place to be flooded? Anyone knows? Start with V one. The country? No. Start with V. Anyway. The second letter is E. Third letter is N. Next one is I. Oh, come on already. Venice. This is the first place that we flooded. Why? Because it's already flooded. You know what I mean? Look at the place. Have you been there? Anyone been there before? I've been there before. The only way for you to travel is in a boat because the place is already flooded. So if the water level would increase some more,
Is there any animals in the
fish, yeah, the fish everywhere. Fish is everywhere. Yeah, they're just walking around in water. This is when water level go up. Sometimes the water level come down, right? So this place is already flooded. And because it's already flooded, do you know all the buildings are sinking every year? I mean, the buildings are, because the whole place is already flooded, right? So the soil is like not very stable, right? So every year the buildings are sinking, like 1 cm, 2 cm, 1 cm, 2 cm. Yeah, but the place is still, I mean, people still stay there. They can't drain the water. There's too much. It's impossible to drain the water. But why do people still say that? Because tourists like me like to go, right? Like, isn't it fascinating to you that, hey, you mean there's one city that's flooded and then, you can eat pizza over there. So they still live their life like normal, even though the buildings are sinking. And then once in a while, I remember when I was there, it was dry like the first day. Then the second day, you cannot see the road anymore. It's just, there's a boat, travel by boat. Or you have to walk. And then there are a lot of bridges. They build a lot of bridges across from one building to another, so you don't have to travel. You don't have to walk, basically, right? You just take the boat, Everywhere you go, it's boat. No cars, right? Everywhere is boat, right? So
do some people have their own boat?
Everyone has their own boat. You know how you travel?
Then why you don't know how to ride the boat?
Huh?
Then why you start?
Everyone must know how to ride a boat, right? So this is okay. You see, yeah, there's no driving lesson there, right? So you see, this is a parade square or something, but now it's flooded with water. Okay, so you think we are not vulnerable to this? We are, right? In fact, we are one of the countries that will be next. You understand? After Venice, it be us. Can you imagine between this building and the other building is all water? Like later when you go home, right? Your mom will row a boat. Then okay, come hop on, and then you row a boat.
What do
you mean all the way to the other end?
Like drawing to like
everywhere water It's just water everywhere. Water everywhere. Exactly. So okay. Okay. What I'm saying here is not I say one. It's the government say one. When will this happen? Do you know? Like when will this happen to us? in 100 years. The scientists already did the calculation. Yes, when you are dead, but you will see maybe a bit. You understand? It will not happen immediately, but you might see like, okay, here got water. Then you need to swim across. Yeah, basically all the restaurants are flooded. I remember I was eating pizza in the restaurant. So at first it was fine. And then after that, slowly water started to come in. So your feet is like all got water on. So you cannot put your bags on the floor, you gotta put it on top somewhere. Yes.
Is there like a boat?
Yeah, I think maybe got boat grab over there. Right, but you'll be very slow. Yes, they have everything. They have it's like a normal. Yeah, correct. I don't know. You see, so sometimes they have to declare state of emergency. Yeah. Why? Yeah, it's nice, but it's nice as a tourist. You understand? It's not nice when you're staying there. Can you imagine? All right. Okay, so okay, you see, not I say one. Yeah, Lee Hsien Loong say one. Lee Hsien Loong. They just pee in the water. Okay. Wait, I better show you the article. Lee Hsien Loong, Singapore, what do you call that? Climate change. Where is it? Okay, don't put Lee Hsien Loong. Singapore, 100 years. Okay, so yeah. Where's the guy? No, where is it? Okay, there, this one. Singapore has a $100 billion plan, $100 billion plan. So Singapore has already set aside $100 billion, and I can't read the article. $100 billion needed to protect. What? Okay, see, National Day Rally, 100 billion needed to protect Singapore against rising sea level. Okay, $100 billion. Why so expensive? That's a very good question. First, they need to build a wall, like Donald Trump. Okay, build a wall where? East Coast, right? East Coast area. Why? Yeah, they need to build a big, huge wall around the East Coast area to not let the water come inside. That's the first thing, right? Wait, you see, how much will it cost to protect against about 100 billion over 100 years? Okay, in 100 years' time, we will have this problem. I know, but you see, rising. See, this is the simulation, right? They show you where the water will come in. Right, all this will be flooded first. Okay, wait. You see, what is this place? The whole East Coast Park will be gone. The whole Sentosa is gone. No Sentosa. The whole Jurong Island is gone. Pulau Tekong gone. No need to serve army. Okay. all these are the lower area. So next, you want to buy house? Okay. Yeah, where is Serangoon? Serangoon here, somewhere here. So we are still okay. Right, so this is mountain. Best if you Punggol is here. So it's still fine, right? So let's go some more. Is it increased? Are there? All this gone. Red color means flooded already. Gone. Blue color is water coming. Yeah, then when water come in, you form new rivers and everything. Okay? So basically this whole area gone. What is it? Orchard, no more Orchard. No more Orchard Road, no more Clarke Quay, no more Suntec City, all gone. Everything underwater. Next somewhere here. Next is somewhere here. We are now here. Yeah, like now as we are speaking, right? Water is like slowly increasing. Yeah. So you take 100 years for this to happen. 100 years is not long. It's not a long time. You will see. I mean, by the time you are 60 something, 70 years old, you see like maybe.
Imagine you cannot see anything that
What we can say? Okay, why are they zooming in? Oh. Yeah, can you see all these houses?
Oh, that's a large amount.
That's the whole East Coast gone, right? Changi Airport also disappear.
Oh,
Yeah, the entire Changi Airport
you
gone.
can't travel to different countries.
Yeah, they will probably have to put the airport somewhere else, right? And then this basically this is so Clarke Quay, no more Chinatown.
Oh,
No more Orchard Road, no more Bras Basah, Suntec City, Marina Bay, MBS all gone. Right. All of this. Oh, what do you mean not that bad? This is terrible. This is terrible, right? So stay in the north, you see? Yeah, stay in the north. Yishun is fine. Stay in Jurong. Jurong okay lah, not too bad. This is Jurong. You mean here? This one is a reclaimed land. Ang Mo Kio is here, in the middle. So if you stay in the middle, you're fine. Okay, but this is 100 years.
The water, right, in the middle, then start to run.
No, it will rise from the side. I know, but this is the reservoir. Reservoir is fine. It will always come from the side. So what's their plan? The plan is here, build a wall, like a super duper long wall. Yeah, around here, so water don't come in. So at least this. That's why they show this area. Can you imagine how many households, the whole Katong all gone? No? How many people will be flooded, swimming in water? Yeah, but if you have relatives here, they'll be like, can I stay in your house? Why my house flooded? Go swimming pool. Just jump down, swim. Let's swim to Changi. What? I don't know. Okay, this will be at least like 2-3 meters high. Right, 2-3 meters. So it's like one story lah. Until here. So literally you can swim across. See them boxing, right? Just swim across. Yeah, so basically all the restaurants all flooded, all the cars will be floating around. Okay, so but this 100 years, of course. And then you'll be like, yeah, don't worry lah, it's 100 years time. But you never know. Maybe if you use more aircon, instead of 100 years become 50 years. Yeah, you see, you all cannot live without aircon, right? Right? If you use more, I don't know, vehicles, become 20 years. I don't know. You never know. That's the problem. You never know because rising sea level. Okay, but of course some people will be like, very exciting. I never stayed in this sort of situation before. Flooded lah. So nowadays you see we got more flooding happening. Yeah, everywhere. You rain for 2-3 days, suddenly flooded already.
That was 2019.
That is 2019. We are saying in the year 2121, right? Singapore like that. Yeah, 100 years time lah. This you'll be here and then after that you gotta swim across. So it's 2119. Yeah, but not too far, right? You see? Like that, your lamppost in water, electrocuted everyone. And you know what's the other problem? The other problem is that where are all our electricity cables? Where are all our electrical cables? Where is our MRT? Nowhere, underground. Do you think those will be flooded? No, all of them will be flooded because submarine. Your MRT station will all be flooded. That's it. Everyone flooded. Okay? You buy boat. Yeah, you buy submarine, you buy snorkeling. Everyone must. You buy aeroplane, helicopters. Helicopters will be useful. Yeah, so if you want to know what's going to happen in Singapore in 100 years, just go to Venice. Okay? Go to Venice, you eat in the water, you understand what's going on. And then everywhere you travel is by boat. Yeah, everywhere is boat. Boat everywhere. Or you go to MBS. You know MBS now? They have the boat, the sampan thing, right? You know they got the sampan. Do you know what I'm talking about? MBS sampan. The sampan, right? You see?
So small.
So this will give you an example of what's going to. They already know, you see, so they built this.
Not so much. The water is not like
okay. The good thing is this water is clean.
Yeah, actually.
But in 100 years time, this water is not clean. It has fish one, right? Got octopus, whatever stuff from the ocean. Yeah, so whatever stuff from the ocean will come in. Whatever rubbish, remember we throw rubbish where? Islands, the Macau, right? You know, they might flow in also. Remember the rubbish that I throw in the year 2021? Maybe in the year 2011, it will come to you. Yeah, of course I'm dead, but I say maybe you'll come to your grandchildren and see your grandfather throw the rubbish and now fly back to you. Alright, so you see they're still happy. Why? Because they're tourists, right? They don't stay there. They don't stay there. But if they stay there and every day you're yeah. Yeah, but if you stay there and every day your feet is wet, I guarantee you won't be happy. Right? Every day your feet is wet, you'll be like, oh man, when can I leave this place? It's an exciting beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Look, right? So everywhere. Just vote everywhere. Could be. Right? The water walls of Venice. So sometimes it's flooded, sometimes it's not. That's the problem. Probably. So the church also flooded one. Right? And then flooded, all this rubbish will float around. Oh, you can't build tall buildings on water. Flooded land, the soil is very muddy one. You build a tall building, the whole thing will fall down and you'll collapse, okay? So anyway, that's global warming, right? Polar ice caps melt, remember, right? It doesn't only affect Inuka, the polar bear, it affects us as well because parts of our land will be flooded because we are just one tiny little dot. Polar ice cap is so big, okay? Unless, we love water, then if not, it will definitely affect us as well. Right, so not only that, you're going to get more droughts, hurricanes, floods. I mean, we haven't had a hurricane before, right? But you never know, you might have like a hurricane in Singapore, right? Have we seen what tsunami? No, we don't have because we are very lucky. We are shielded by Malaysia and Indonesia. Yeah, so they get the tsunami. Yeah, so everyone gets it except us because we have that tiny little dot, right? Yeah, if tsunami comes, that's it, man. The tsunami will wash Singapore. We'll all be washed into the ocean. Yeah.
Like you just left Singapore like maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
That would be lucky.
But when you come back, you'll be like everything is gone.
No, I don't think we go wrong.
You can't go anywhere. Yeah, nowhere. Okay, so how to prevent all this pollution? Dispose waste properly. Okay, so I mean we don't have a lot of recycling thing going on, but you can try, right? Next one is to produce less rubbish. How to produce less rubbish? You reuse, recycle, reduce. Like you use water bottle, very good. Okay, it's very bad of me to use straws, right? Yeah. Don't use straws. But if I don't use straws, how am I going to drink this? Huh? Put in the bucket, then put one in the bottom. Put in the cup, yeah. But I lazy because I need to wash. Right. So if I need to wash, what do I use? I use the detergent. Detergent also cause water pollution. Just dirty, right? Then I get stomach ache. Then I got diarrhea. I cause more water pollution. Right. Best is what? Don't drink. Okay, just drink water. Okay. Use CFC-free products. What's the meaning of CFC-free product? Guys, if you when you use the hairspray, CFC is the hairspray. No, not perfume. Hairspray. Guys like to. You all don't have lah. Yeah, but my secondary school students, they have all pattern one, right? How to make that pattern? You must a lot of hairspray. Like your brother, does your brother use that?
No, he doesn't. He just
Okay, he used hand. Your brother? Does your brother do that? I think your brother hair is like damn stylo Milo one, right? How much hairspray did he use? Or he used hair gel? Yeah, so gel. Alright, why need 10 boxes of hair gel, right? Because it look nice, huh? You understand? It look nice when it come out, right? I mean, now y'all won't think about it, but next time. You cannot tell him that, no? You feel very sad. No? So you gotta spray the hair. Shoo! So when you spray or you put gel, all the fumes go into the environment. Okay, never mind, up to him. So UCSC free. Okay, I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be hard, right? People still want to use those spray stuff. Okay, next, reduce the use of fuel. Use electric vehicle. That's one. Don't use the oil. Well, the kids are boxing on there. You see that? Yeah, the two kids. Kids, those are kids. Your age, I know. They're killing each other, no?
Oh yeah.
Do you see that? Like closer to this side, right? They're boxing.
Wait, what? Are they like one group or something? Why are they doing the same thing?
I don't know. Perhaps one day we might do the same, yeah? Like follow whatever they're doing. Yeah. Okay, next, take a look. So biotechnology, our interaction leads to development of science and technology, because with science we can solve a lot of problems. Like for example, when you don't have enough food, what do you do? No? No. You don't have enough food, what do you do? Think of ways to make more food, right? Like the cornfield. Put fertilizers, right? Invent fertilizers. Okay, improve the quality of plants and animals. Like for example, chicken, I mean hens, right? Everyone eats eggs, right? Yeah. You don't eat a lot. Do you eat eggs every day? Who eats eggs every day? Like must eat one every day. Most. Everyone? I eat at least 2 per day. Yeah, I eat at least 2 per day. Yeah. So where do all our eggs come from? I mean Singapore's eggs. Where do Singapore's eggs come from? Factory. Where? Which country? Singapore have a Malaysia, right? So if the Malaysia hen don't produce enough eggs, drink water. Okay, so because they know that we eat so much eggs, right? How do they make the hen produce more eggs?
They give them injection.
Yeah, injection. What else? When do hens lay eggs? 9 months. No, that's human beings. if hen lay every 9 months, we don't have enough eggs to eat already. Every morning, right? So by right, every morning they'll be like, when they wake up, they're like, oh, poop, 1 egg come out. Okay, but because human beings like me eat so many eggs, right? What do they do to make the hen lay more eggs? Apart from injection, what do they do? No chemical. They use a very simple trick to make the hen lay more eggs.
Oh, you can get more also.
Get more what?
Yeah.
Okay, you see, when do hens lay eggs? Every morning. So if you can create more mornings for the hen will lay more eggs. You understand? So how do they do that? They keep all the hens inside these places, like very dark, and then they simulate day and night. You understand? Like in one day, in 124 hours, there's like 2 days. So the hen thinks that it's twice as old as what it's supposed to be. You understand? That means by right, yeah. So by right they're only 10 years old, but then to them it's like, oh, I'm already 20 years, so I'm like a very old mother hen. But that's not true, because the hen is only 10 years old. So how do they do that? They use lighting, right? So they keep all the hens inside like this place, and then they simulate, okay, now it's daytime. Oh, then the hen will wake up, oh, 1 egg come out. Okay, and then they switch off, okay, then the hen will go to sleep. And then after they switch on, they're like, oh, now it's daytime. Then the egg come out.
Can't they just do it like 1 hour?
Cannot lah. The hen will go crazy. You know? Okay, maybe next time you can try, okay? But so far, the most they have done is like 2 days within 1 day. That means they create. Yeah.
Then one of them got the the roosters, the honey sound, the one that they make me up on.
Uh-huh.
Now it has a sound, and then I have one shot, and then I put them the own.
Like a pen. Oh, they own like a lot.
They own like three.
Three of them, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is human beings, we use technology. Okay, we use ways to make more food, and to create more plants, right? GM food. Have you heard of GM food?
No.
GM food, genetically modified food. Do you know there's one GM food that you have been eating?
Vegetable.
As long as you eat McDonald's, you have eaten that.
Huh?
What's GM food? That means last time don't have one, but they created that food. They create.
Not like the nugget for very long time.
No. Okay, meat also have. Okay, wait. I better show you all this.
Oh, this is all the videos from all the.
Meat super cow.
What? Ew.
Super cow.
Why does that look so scary?
Because your burgers, right?
Yeah.
Because you all like to eat burgers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one cow last time don't give so much meat, right?
Yeah.
So they make super cow. So one cow will have
How to make
more steroids, right? Chemicals. You see, this is a normal cow. Normal cow so skinny. You see, so skinny, right? This is not going to give you enough meat because to satisfy all your hunger for Happy Meals and cheeseburgers and everything, they gotta make a super cow. Why call what? Injection, so that it will grow more meat.
Wait, steroids can make injection.
Steroids are injection. They're like pills or medication or some stuff. So once they have this type of genetically modified thing, they basically grow more meat, right? Per cow got more meat.
Then why does human take that?
Really? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But scientists say okay,
Then if we eat the cow, then we get it.
But scientists say it's okay. You understand? So this is super cow. What is super cow? Super cow is basically a selectively bred super cattle. That means that cow, basically that cow is grown for its meat. That's all. There's no other reason. How do you know? Very sensitive. Of course it'll die. Of course it'll die, right? So that super cow is super, huh? No. Milk one is this type, right? Of course, they also have ways to make this one produce more milk per cow, right? But the super cow is for the meat, okay? Right? What else? I mean, this super cow, right? If you are interested in how they make super cow, just go to YouTube, go and search for super cow, right? They have a documentary how these super cows are made, so that they can satisfy the human beings' hunger. You see, hunger.
Oh my
What
God.
the heck? Yeah, human beings' hunger for more meat. Okay, this one, this is a normal skinny cow. You're getting very what? Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, in the burger, you don't see this one. You don't see the nice packaging, samurai burger. Right. Yeah, but it came from all this stuff. That's just one example. Oh, but do you eat corn?
Yeah.
Do you know corn doesn't exist?
What?
Corn is a genetically corn. See, where does corn come from? Corn plant, right? But do you know there's no such thing as a corn plant? There is a maize plant, but corn is genetically modified from what?
From a dog?
No. Wait, you want to? How can dog produce corn? Corn, GM. Oh, you don't know. This is the ancestor of corn. What does this look like? This is the corn that we eat, right? I mean, we all look at corn and say, yeah, this must be natural, right? I mean, this is like natural food. Of course, now it's natural, but there wasn't such thing as corn until human beings discovered. No. Human beings discovered this thing. This thing. What does this look like? This thing. So they genetically modify this to this, And then from this genetically modified to this. Yeah, correct. Okay, it's grass. Grass. You know grass? Grass. Grass.
Why we step on the grass?
You know grass, sometimes if you look close enough, you'll see.
Mud.
No, you see stuff like that. There's like tiny bits.
Why
Tiny
should we
bits.
bring it home and plant it?
You can't plant it because you need to genetically modify it. Then it will become this. You have to study in university, you know, you go and modify so that it becomes this. And they realize that, hey, people like to eat this stuff. Let's make more this because this comes from grass. And it's so cheap.
What is GMO?
GM means genetically modified something, object, right? They plant, they inject some stuff, huh? So it becomes corn and people just keep on eating corn.
Why they cut the corn, some of them?
No, this just, all right, so this grass, become like that.
Potato.
Potato is real. Yeah, that is real. Right, so French fries is fine.
How about chicken?
Okay, chicken also very scary, you know. Right?
No. Hot dog is the worst.
Yeah, hot dog is the worst. Right? Chicken, KFC still quite okay.
Like the Chinese hot dog.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just gonna leave you all at this. Yeah. Don't be grossed out, right? Don't go and tell your parents, I don't want to eat corn anymore. No. You can still eat corn, right? Yeah, you can still eat corn. Broccoli is fine, right? It's just that because we don't know the origin of all this food. They're all like genetically modified, and we don't really know if that affects you. You know, because human beings. Then you're fine. Steak. Yeah. Corn. Okay, so we shall continue this next week, right? Just talking about environment. Okay, man and this environment. That's all.